Hi, I am Angelique Clemens, and I am the host of the podcast, Can I Borrow Your Skin? And this is week 4 and the very last week of February, and we are going to talk about exhibitionism. And I hinted at it in my last video, talking about the movie Four Christmases. If it's not Four Christmases, I'm going to apologize because I do a lot of recordings without actually looking some things up in between. And I kind of hinted at it too when we were talking about certain clothing fetishes that people may have. But this week we're strictly talking about exhibitionism. And that can be actually a couple of things. Most people think about, oh, exhibitionism, people are having sex outdoors. And while that is a large part of it, it can also be being wearing scantily clothes, walking around in something a little bit too short or a little lot skin tight. Liquid leather is one of those things. I think I mentioned it about the pony outfit last week. And there are some people, and like liquid leggings are a thing now. And a lot of the liquid leggings that people wear actually have shapewear in them to like push things up and out and around in a really flattering way. And because people want to be seen and looked at and feel desirable, I personally can't wear those because I already got a lot of things up in here. So you start pushing in a direction, you're going to rip that liquid. And then you have transparent clothing. Like people like to wear sheers. And that's actually one of the things why people loved pantyhose back in the day, and why that is actually one of the clothing fetishes that people have is tights and pantyhose. And because one of the things tights and pantyhose does is it shapes the leg. And so if you're going to wear a really short skirt and you have those really, I think they're called control top pantyhose, it's going to pull everything up and shape it in such a way that it looks flattering. And that's the whole point of the control. The whole idea of exhibitionism is you want that raw, uncontrollable passion, and it can't be contained. And that's why you have to have that person right here, right now. You don't care who's watching. I need you now. And I actually think that is an exact quote in line from a Janet Jackson song. Anytime, any place. Or is it anytime, anywhere? No, anytime. Anytime, any place. I can't sing, so you are so lucky that I talked it out instead of trying to sing it. And that's the whole idea. You don't care who's watching. I need you right now. Like, you must have me. I must have you. And that raw, uncontrolled passion is something people desire. You look at me, you have such a desire for me. You love me. You lust after me. You want me right here. You cannot control yourself. We can't wait till we get home. Let's sneak behind this tree, or I'm giving you head on the way home, or I'm getting head on the way home, or your fingers are touching me or in me or around me or something. That's that raw, uncontrollable passion. And that's one of the reasons why people really enjoy exhibitionism, because I am so desirable that this person cannot wait. They have to have me. That's an ego stroke. You cannot be told that someone desires you so very much that they cannot wait, the 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, however long, to be with you. That's flattering as hell. Then you have like the absolute thrill of being caught. You always have that person that's pushing the button that, wants that adrenaline rush of, will someone see us? And that someone doesn't have to be a police officer, but you always get that coy, what did I do, officer? That thrill that, someone's going to round that corner and see you canoodling, all embraced and wrapped up and just the raw. And that's that turn on that someone's like, oh, I never. So, that's a big thrill of exhibitionism. And then it's just pure attention. There are some people that wear, the very short skirt or the lace out in public. That's why they make the nipple covers that make it look like the nipple is always hard, because people want someone to look at them and be like, oh, it's that thrill. You want that thrill of that attention. Some people just want the pure attention. And that is one of the reasons why exhibitionism is so popular. And exhibitionism can be a combination of all of those things as well. So you can have, that digital or oral or penetrative sex in the back row at the movies, for example. You have the raw passion of wanting to be with your person right then, right there. It's performative. Someone can walk in on you, you can get caught, and then you're also having someone might be seeing me, and so you have all three of those things rolled up into one, and so that's like the ultimate woo. And back in the day, before they made movie theater chairs like whole beds with buttons you push to get your liquor in and your food, it was like literally the back row at the movies. Like that's in a song too, where you guys get the best seat in the back row at the movies. You're going to a matinee because there's not a lot of people in it, and you're not there for the movie. You may have seen the movie already, but you're literally there just to make out. That's what Make Out Point was. Like in Detroit, it was on Belle Isle. But in a lot of smaller cities, they have a designated every city, I think, has a designated make out place or two. So that's why you went to those places. And you could see, and in some of the movies, you see like several cars lined up. All the windows are steamed up and the cars are rocking. And everyone had this expectation of why everyone was there. And you went there because it was performative. Everyone had this idea that you went there just for this sex act. And so you show up at this place and everyone's like, oh, I know what you're here for. And that whole idea was exhibitionism. You were like, oh no, we couldn't go to their house or my house or whatever. You could have gone to a lot of other places, not that place where you knew everybody else was going to. You were going there for the performance of it all. And if you went there with somebody who did not want to do things, you were instantly pissed off because you're there for the performance. You want people to know, yeah, I'm doing this. This is why I'm here. Other common examples of exhibitionism is going to be doing things in a moving vehicle, whether, giving or receiving road head. You have that combination where, it is that pure, raw, I need you. I want to have you inside of me in some way, shape, or form. You have that thrill of being caught. Yeah, you're on a public roadway. Other cars are driving by. They can see that head bouncing up and down in your lap, or they can see you reached over, and people, you can see when someone's performing a sex act in another car. I've seen it, and it's pure joy. You give the thumbs up, you keep on moving. And and that's why it can be performative, because you see it happening and you're happy for that person. I don't think, unless the person drives very, very poorly while receiving some sort of sexual stimulation while driving their vehicle, you're just happy for them. It's like, good for you, person in the Dodge. Like, you're happy for them. Like, the only time I get really annoyed is when that person is not driving well. It's like one of the reasons why, if you're going to do that sort of thing, you got to keep your goddamn eyes open. You got to be able to see the road. You have to have some sort of lane fidelity. Exhibitionism can also be passionately kissing in a public place, like pushing that person against the wall and just like having this big passionate, sometimes sloppy makeout sesh right in the middle of a doorway somewhere. People are walking by, excuse me, trying to get around you while you're just enjoying yourself with your partner, and that can be like just kissing. And sometimes, you catch somebody with the skirt up kind of moment. Every once in a while, you'll be, I think I was at a museum, not here in Detroit. I want to say it was when I was in Boston. I was out at a museum, and there was a couple that was panties to the side, straight banging in the middle of a museum. And I don't know, I'm not an art critic, but the exhibit wasn't that great. I was just like, this turned you on that much? All right, y'all go for it. And it wasn't like a young couple type of thing. These were people in their, 40s, 50-year-olds just straight banging in a museum in Boston. I was like, all right, then y'all do it. And one of the things about exhibitionism, it doesn't have to necessarily be out in public. You have neighbors who are close enough by, they can see you, they can hear you. Um, that's also exhibitionism. And but you're at your own house. And so, you get the thrill of knowing your neighbors can see or hear you, but you're at home. The worst someone could do is be like, knock, knock, knock. Uh, can you cover up? I can see you, Bill. And you're like, oh, sorry, Doug. My bad. He ain't, it wasn't his bad. He did that on purpose because he knew you could see him. That was by design. Um, and then you have the other types, like, one of the reasons why people like going on quote vacation with Bay is so they could do like the whole fantasy of sex on a hotel balcony. That is one of the biggest things right now of why you go on a vacation is so that you can do things in this place that isn't necessarily your home that you wouldn't be able to do at home. And so you have like, the balcony sex, and then you have um like for example, my husband and I, we went to Bora Bora for our honeymoon, and we had this hut, and the huts are close together, but they're far enough where you can do things on the porch of your hut. I did not do that because but I definitely saw some other people doing it. And then people wanting to do things in bathtubs and hot tubs and swimming pools, and that was in an ocean, and it's just like them people came home with something. I was not coming home with that. That just microorganisms and being a female, that mucous membrane with all those things swimming. No, thank you. No, thank you. But people like that sort of thing, and so it is what it is. But one of the few things I will say about exhibitionism is, one, be safe. Um, this is why people have indecent exposure laws, is because if you getting it on outside somewhere, except on your own property, it is indecent exposure, and so you can absolutely get charged with that. And in some places, depending on what you were doing, if they could see your you could also be charged with criminal sexual assault charges. And please, please, please make sure you're not doing it around a school, a park where children are going to be, because you don't want to have to register as a sex offender because you and your partner could not wait to get home. Um, in terms of some of the things being done in a vehicle, again, it is dangerous to be operating a motor vehicle distracted. Now, the distracted driver laws were designed for people on phones, but they will absolutely write you a ticket if you are getting or giving roadhead and you are pulled over because you were too distracted to have lane fidelity. So again, learn how to, practice in your driveway or in your garage or something, who knows. But do know that is there are some things that you should pay attention to with exhibitionism. If you are one of those people that has, you want to have sex in cars, or you want to have sex on the side of a building, like that is one of your fantasies, make sure your partner is prepared for that. There are assless clothing for that very reason. Um, there are some underwear that is not easy to pull to the side. So keep that in mind as well. That's for men and women. You know, prepare for it ahead of time with your clothing so that, it's not obvious necessarily what you are doing. Um, Affection being shown outside and around and about is fine. Um, but just make sure that the level of affection you are looking to receive or show is done in a manner in which you, even if you are breaking a law, it is easily defended in a manner where it's not obvious. You are only limited by your imagination in those situations. I mean, every person that I know of that identifies as female has that one, oh, well, this is easy to slip on and slip off or hike up kind of outfit. They may have more than one. So if you know that you might be doing some a little out and about, that you prepare for it. Um, I do not know if there's a male equivalent to that easy slip in and slip out kind of outfit. I couldn't imagine, actually, now that I think of it. Maybe, but I can't think of anything right now because zippers and buttons are usually involved. And if you do a pull down, your ass is out. So I don't know. I will have to think about that one. But yeah, you're only limited by your imagination. Please be sure of the laws where you go. Some places are definitely more strict in terms of what they will do if caught. Some people will just give you that slap on the wrist, indecent exposure. You will also get that if you urinate outside. So be careful of that. Know what the laws and restrictions are, because pulling out yourself is pulling out yourself. I think that is all I have to say about exhibitionism, except, if you get that thrill and you want to do that, like with other kinds of things, discuss it with your partner. Last thing you want to do is be trying to slide up into something and it's not the right place or time. That's all I got on that. This is my last February episode. It was different than January. March is going to be about minority mental health. So, I'm going to be bouncing around and talking about different topics here and there. So hopefully you find something that you like, because I think over the course of the year, it's going to be a little something for everybody. But thank you so much for rocking fetishes with me all February. As I get questions, as you guys saw with January, I do answer them, and I do pick up and do different videos throughout the week to answer some of the questions. Sometimes I just answer in the comments, but feel free to DM me your questions if you aren't comfortable writing them in the comments where you watch the videos at, because I'm on several platforms. I am on Instagram and on Facebook. CIBYS podcast. Come find me, DM me your questions. And other than that, subscribe, like, follow. Thank you very much.